peacemakers.
Pretty much. I could, for example, see this is merely a suggestion, but I could see a Fina Arun with Heine, a Geta Fenris Ragabash, and the Children of Gaia Gayard.
Children of Gaiard.
But that's just a suggestion.
Does this sound like a reasonable compromise, or does...
I'm not really fond of the Fina.
Okay.
To be honest.
Okay.
But if
it should be something you want to play, so don't worry about it. We'll figure something else out.
Well, you know what he wants to play, Joan.
We can have duplicate tribes. We could be 2 Shadow Lord Aruns. That's going to stir the hornet's nest a fucking lot.
I would be very unhappy if we had 2 identical compositions.
Damn it.
We'll just make twins again, and everything will go to shit.
Nah, I'm thinking we would hate each other more than any other characters. We both were Shadow Lord Aruns.
Heine, you can come be a bitch with me.
No.
So what are we?
No, you know what? I'll take
It's a very fitting term when we're talking werewolves.
Yes, it is, actually.
I'll take the Fina Arun.
Come be my bitch. Yeah.
Are you sure?
If you don't want Fina, I can take it.
I would prefer if people played something they actually want.
Let's see. Well, the thing is, the two other tribes I would prefer to play are either the Shadow Lords or the Geta Fenris.
Alright, I'll let you play that fucking Geta Fenris.
Yes!
I'm going to hate you so much, Heine.
It is actually perfect. Good.
Damn
Okay,
it.
thank you, John. Thank you.
Can't believe I just did that.
No, it's a great idea. I stand behind that idea completely.
So, what about you, Hale? Which tribe did you go for?
Oh, that kind of leaves me with Fina, doesn't it?
Well, it's...
If she really wants it.
I would have kind of liked to be a Ragabash, Geta Fenris, and
I have no problem.
and then just ragging on the Finas.
You know what? Do that. And I'll void the we need one Fina thing. Do that. I'll void that.
It will make for very...
It'll make for a slightly different flair to the whole thing, but
it probably just means like we'll probably have to contend with certain members of the Sept not trusting us because there are no Fina among them. How can they possibly accomplish anything? And then we'll have to disprove that, right?
Yes.
And if we die, then maybe there is a Fina among the other cups they got in.
That's a good point.
I think we saw. So we have 2 Geta Fenris. Oh my god! And one is a Ragabash and one is an Arun. That is.
Joan?
Holy shit! Yes.
If you are still not too keen on giving up on the Fina, I can play one. It would not be a problem.
Are you sure? I mean,
yeah, I think I would have a really hard time adapting to the feminazism, to be honest.
Yeah,
I would.
They really are uncompromising in their loathing of men.
I'll change her hair color back to red, and then I'll be a Fina.
Yes, thank you very much.
I'll be a Fina 3.
Yes.
That
is very, very good. Oh my god, this is going to be the most amazingly fun group ever.
But I still insist on having no clue what werewolves are.
That's fine.
Asmus, I think you should totally name your character after what's it called? Grandia.
Fina?
Yeah.
I'm tempted. She already has a name, but
yeah,
I could also call her Tara.
They have a name, and then they get a pet name.
A sept name, actually, not so much a pet name. They get they earn their spirit name as part of their rite of passage, which is coming later. Yes. Anyway, back to the character generation thing.
So what do we have? We have 2 Geta Fenris.
Yep.
We have a Glasswalker.
Yep.
We have a Fina.
Yep. You have a Shadow Lord.
And we have a Shadow Lord.
And you have a Children of Gaia.
We have a
Child of Gaia, I guess.
Yeah, Child of Gaia, 6 people. Wow.
I'm sorry that I won't be hating you quite as much, Heine, but I'll probably still not like you.
Trust me, the Fina and the Get Fenris don't mix.
Yes.
At all.
Speaking of which, considering just how batshit insane difficult this is meant to be anyway, Joan, I'm not entirely certain you need to up the difficulty because there's more of us. You evil bitch. Okay.
Yes. Well, if remember that if you look at the file called Werewolf Fluff, there will be quite a lot of description of the different tribes, including the ones that are already in Dublin from the different tribes and auspices. Mm-hmm. Remember that file is written by one of the local Fina. That explains a lot about the attitude.
In the fluff thingies, it doesn't really say what they think about glasswalkers.
No, it doesn't, because there aren't any in the city when they begin, so they will be like, oh, okay.
Hello, what are you?
Whoa, you haven't had one of you guys around for years, sort of thing. So there isn't anyone there that they can really build an opinion on.
But what are you? I have no idea.
So,
Johan?
Yep.
I have a question because I haven't read the intro files, and if I start reading them now, I'm not going to hear anything that's being explained to us.
True.
So I'm going to ask,
Yes.
what is your intention in regards to the spirit of the game?
That's the right term for a wolf game, but yes. The mood of the game is going to be very, very heavy on well, first and foremost, it's going to be enormously role-playing heavy, less dice rolling, and much more character-driven.
And very region-locked.
Yes, it's very, very region-locked. It's set in Dublin and the surrounding area out to about 40 kilometers outside of Dublin, where there is an area called Tara, which is the old, ancient, in fact, seat of Irish High Kings, where there is another sept located, but you will see that when you read the story. But that is the area in which the game takes place.
Slight problem.
Yes?
For some reason, my character sheet thing has my name, not my character's name, popping up.
You can fix that manually, I believe.
Yes. I don't know how. I'll save it for later.
Edit, and then you fix it.
Yes.
All right, okay, fair enough.
Also, it is also
it depends on which name you've put under player name. That's what it names the character sheet.
Yes. It also, Hele, it also means that this is going to be a. There will, of course, be combat. Your werewolves and your huge fur-clad killing machines when you decide to be, and werewolves are unbelievably dangerous in physical combat. But they are. But it's not going to be a primary thing. It is going to be about the social interactions in the sept between the pack that you guys make up and the rest of the world around you, including very heavily other supernatural creatures.
At the end of the day, we're here to destroy Big Oil. We're here to destroy Big Brother, the Man, all the big nasty companies shitting on Mother Earth.
Yes.
But we also have to play it kinda cautiously, because there's not a lot of us.
Exactly. We would love to go out there and just rip them all to shreds, but they have silver bullets.
Yeah, we will every now and again, especially if we feel like we're being shit on by the other werewolves. You know, we have to prove ourselves, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Be a teenager with the power of a god and then be told, you know, you get recognition by beating up these guys that you probably shouldn't beat up, but, you know, maybe you should, yeah.
I just realised something.
Yeah.
We've got all three of us have all got B surnames. We're going to be quite, well, it could lead to some very interesting sort of silly banter between us.
Yeah. Hey, Joan, I want you to do something for me. Just quickly.
Yes?
I want you to click my character sheet, and I want you to look at the concepts, and I want you to you know, make a sound or say some words and tell me, you know, if this sounds like something you could see in your campaign.
What?
Which one of is your character?
That is Aaron Blackwell.
Aaron Blackwell. All right.
That is, of course, what he has been raised. Like that is the subtext of how he's been raised.
So he thinks that of himself?
Yeah, he the impression. Yeah, basically his parents have always given him that impression, right? Even when he's doing his best.
That is a very good concept for Shadow Lord. I really like that.
What?
Excellent choice. Anyway,
I think it's secret-ish. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes, it would ruin it if you guys knew, but I definitely, Daniel, that's more than all right with me. I think it's brilliant, especially because that does give him the urge to excel and be really Shadow Lordy, but it also opens up the possibility that if somebody gets under his skin, they might find out a little bit more. Just very interesting. I like that. So...
Good. Time for stats.
It's time for stats.
Right, there are some things we can deal with immediately based on our auspice, our breed, and our tribe.
Exactly. So we start with the breed. And if you look at your character sheets, the one saying all, and you scroll down towards, not all the way down, but almost, you will find something right above the pictures. You will find something called Rage, Gnosis, and Willpower.
Yes.
Yes. Rage is determined by your auspice.
Firefox.
Sorry, what did you say, AJ?
I'm rating over Firefox because that keeps fucking up.
Oh.
That's why I'm using Chrome.
I'll not touch that shit because it keeps making my PCs crash.
Okay, fair enough.
Right, so our breed determines our starting gnosis.
However, the top stat on the character sheet is Rage, so let's start with that.
Right.
Rage is determined by
moon.
your.
Hello, Joan. You.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're back.
It is determined by your auspice, by your moon phase, and basically this is a very simple thing. A Ragabash has 1 point of starting rage. A Thurge has 2. A Philodox has 3. A Gaillard has 4. And a Rune has 5. You can buy more when we get further along in the in the process.
That's a lot of anger.
That is an absurd amount of anger. Again, remember, no human being, no matter how enraged or angry, has ever even reached 1 in rage.
I shall take my inspiration from Astera's Wrath to get an idea of the kind of rage we're going for.
But remember that you don't necessarily have to scream at the top of your lungs all the time. No. Rage burns in many different hues for werewolves.
Oh, yeah.
But it's there.
It's definitely there. So... Then we go to Gnosis. This is your spirit energy. As I said, this is how easily you will interact with the spirit world. It is also that and willpower, but mostly Gnosis is the supernatural energy you use to power some of your gifts. And it is also determining for how easy it is for you to actually physically enter the spirit world.
Yeah.
If you're a Homid, you start with 1. If you're a Matis, you start with 3. And if you're a Lupus, you start with 5.
So what I miss?
What? Yeah. Were you here for Rage? We talked about Rage.
No.
Okay, you're in a room, so you have 5 points of Rage to start with, and you can buy more of them, as I said, with points later on. However, there are downsides to having too much rage. The more rage you have, the harder it is for you to avoid frenzying. And frenzying, that means you turn into an armor-plated, 9-foot-tall killing machine that rips everything to pieces around you, including innocent bystanders.
Yeah, it can gain you a lot of renown and make you known as a great warrior. It can also cause a shit ton of personal trauma.
Yes.
And have we gone over how rage...
No,
rage
been
is basically what you use it for is primarily to get extra actions in a turn.
Yeah.
Every point of rage you spend gives you 1 extra action that turn. You get rage back by being pissed off, which means that for most werewolves it is stupidly easy to get rage back.
Yeah,
especially in a fight. Oh, you hit me. I am now angry.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed you. Ah! that sort of thing.
Works.
For you guys looking at your character sheets right now, you will notice there are 2 rows of dots. The top one is how much is your rage, how much is your gnosis, how much is your willpower. The one below is your temporary rage, gnosis, and willpower.
So, yeah.
That is not the same. You should have as much temporary as you have permanent, but when you spend, for example, rage, you don't lose your permanent rage, you lose temporary rage.
Exactly. So it's just, the top one is how much can I have at maximum, the bottom one is how much do I have now. Yeah. Cool. Gnosis is the next one, and is determined by your birth form, your breed, and since I think you were all Homid?
Yeah.
Yep, that means you start with 1 in Gnosis.
Oh, no, Lufus.
1 in Gnosis means you have a difficult time. First and foremost, as I said, it's used to also power such things as various gifts. It's also what determines how easy it is for you to interact with spirits and the spirit world, and how easy it is to physically enter the spirit world, which is something werewolves can also do.
Yeah.
Which is really, really cool, but not something you will do the first few sessions.
I'm also sorry. I quickly remembered something.
Yeah, sure.
I seem to recall rage is the stat we use for shapeshifting, right? If we want to, we can shapeshift with skills, but if we don't have the skills for it, we can shift with rage.
Yes, you can burn a point of rage and instantly shift to the
any form.
To the form you want to go to. Otherwise, you have to shift through your forms using a specific skill, which we will get to later.
Yeah.
All right. We did not have a Black Fury, as I recall.
Nope.
We did not have a Bone Norm.
Nope.
We do have a Children of Gaia.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have an initial willpower of 4.
Oh, lovely.
Which is very high for a starting willpower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I must say, by the way, I love the artwork in this book has actually been colored in.
That's very nice.
Very, very nice. Next, we had Athena. You start out with 3 willpower. And then we have the Geta Fenris.
Yeah.
Ermagerd. No, they start with 3.
Oh, okay.
What was the gnosis for Homids? Was that just 1? Okay.
Yeah. 1, yeah.
Just checking. Should we set the temporary in those to our max as well?
Yes, you will start out being maxed out, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, if you have, Joan, could you remind me if I have, I don't remember how temporary points work. Is it if I have 5 rage, which I do I then have 10 temporary rage that I burn through before I burn the permanent rage, or do I have 5 temporary rage?
You have 5 temporary. You have the same amount.
Cool, thank you. I forgot that.
Yep, no worries. You have we have a Glasswalker as well. You also start with 3 willpower.
Okay.
And we have Shadow Lords who start with 3. It is the most common.
Yeah. Normal human sheeple have 2 to 3 willpower.
Yep. Silent Striders, Silver Fangs, Stargazers, Wendigo, Uktena. No, none of those are. None of those are available. I think I just
heard a very bad word.
Yes, Wendigo. They're actually a tribe of Native American Guru.
Get away.
Little brother or big brother.
They're little. Wendigo is little brother.
Okay, and then Uktena is big brother, and middle brother died.
Yes, middle brother died.
So why is Wendigo bad word, Hella?
Because bad.
In Pathfinder, Wendigo is an insanely dangerous creature.
Alright,
yeah,
okay.
We lost 2 party members to that thing, and
yeah.
a very drawn out issue.
Yeah. All right.
It was we beat that thing on the 3rd try after running away twice.
Okay, guys. Next, we pick attributes.
Wonderful.
Attributes.
So, if you move up to the attributes part of the character sheet, you have physical, social, and mental. And you have to pick which one is your primary, secondary, and tertiary attribute.
Yeah.
Which means that you always have 1. That's your starting, so that's why there's already a dot in them. And then you have 7, 5, and 3 points to distribute, respectively. This is why I am allowing you to have one attribute of 4, because it can't be avoided because of the 7.
Those of you looking at this character sheet right now and seeing 10 dots or 9 dots, whatever.
Yeah.
For you people, also note that having 3 dots doesn't mean you suck. Because this goes up to 9 because we're werewolves.
Yes. Humans have an average in attributes of 2.
And are capped at 5.
Yes. Humans are capped at 5, and 1 in a million humans will have 5 strength.
Yeah. Also, when we go into our big, stonking, ugly, killy werewolf form, the war form, the Krynos form, I think it's called.
Yes,
when we do that, we gain +4 strength. For those of you thinking this over right now and not sure what I'm getting at, the weakest werewolf who ever lived has 1 strength, and when he goes into war form, he has 5 strength, meaning the weakest werewolf ever is as strong as the strongest human ever.
Yes. Literally. This is why werewolves kick ass in combat.
So,
yes.
As a third,
Yes.
you are probably not the most physical person in the world.
No, not normally.
No.
Would it be mental? Or would it be social to speak with spirit sisters?
Yeah, go on, John.
I would say that either of those two is good, but I would, if I was a third, I would set social as the highest. And then I would say either mental or physical can be secondary. Depends on your play style.
Yeah.
The reason for this is that social interactions obviously happens through social. For a Philodox, for example, mental should normally be front and center.
There is an argument to be made to your question, AJ, that it depends on your approach to dealing with spirits.
Yes.
For example, certain Thurges prefer to be not to engage the spirits in conversation as much, but for example, there's a long and proud tradition of riddle making with spirits to get them to do what you want.
Yes.
And in that case, you would interact with wits.
Yes.
So it kind of depends on not only where you see your character being in terms of how do you excel at what you're doing, but also like, is your character a gifted kid in school? Or is he not a gifted kid, but perhaps he's a leader of the debate club? Or does he play soccer a lot, right? So you can shift it around like that.
Yes. I agree with that.
Okay, Joan?
Yes.
So you said for a Philodox, mental would be the most important.
Yes.
Why is that?
Because they have to be the ones who can cut through, any problem, see the reasoning behind it. You have to be able to think up a good solution to a conflict before people rip each other's throats out. Philodoxes are generally seen as the most intelligent werewolves.
You
all right, because as you know, I've already made most of the character, and mental stats are my tertiary stats.
That would make her a poor Philodox.
Here's what I would suggest.
It's not impossible, but it makes her a poor Philodox.
If I may give some unsolicited advice, Rasmus, if you want to be good at Philodoxing,
Yes.
I would suggest having a decent perception and a decent wits.
Yes.
To catch the root of the problem and to make your and to be able to outsmart people in the argument, and then have a decent charisma for when that doesn't work.
Yes.
Okay, because social I have as my primary, and then physical as my secondary. Currently. Yeah. I will mull it over.
Remember, here's the thing, what I would suggest you do is that you make social your tertiary, make mental your primary, physical secondary, social tertiary, and then you spend some of your freebie points later on maybe buying one of your social stats up an extra point.
Couldn't I just use freebie points to buy my mental stats up?
You could, but you would need to buy more than one of them up. You'd need both intelligence and perception to be fairly good. And attributes, buying attributes up is extremely expensive in freebie points.
That is true. As I said, I'll mull it over.
Yeah.
So, what would you say is important for a Ragabash?
That depends on how you ragabash.
Yeah, because I was thinking definitely mental first, and then I'm not sure whether social or physical would be second.
I would say mental first, physical second, and make sure your dex is good.
Yeah, because I was thinking I probably want a high dex because then I can run away when I...
Run away and you can dodge.
Yeah, when I inevitably overstep.
No!
Exactly.
Fucking thing.
What's it doing?
That is what I would
put in
suggest.
dots, but I cannot remove them.
Yes, you can. You when you remove dots, you just click the dot before that. So if you want to have 1 charisma, just back to 1 charisma, just click 1.
So how many dots do you have in each? Is it 5, 7, 9 or
753?
753, and then
753.
yes, 753.
It's just I thought I heard someone say something about 9 at some point.
Yeah, but that's
it's
for
next
abilities. That's abilities.
Yeah, go on, Chris.
Any advice for a Gaillard?
Social?
Primary social.
Primary social, secondary...
Physical,
yeah. But, okay.
Because they are warriors as well. A rune, obviously, physical first.
Perfect.
And yes, you can always argue why you would have a rune with a mental being primary. You can always do that.
I'm beating you up in conversation, yo. I'm slapping you down with my your mama jokes.
Well, to be perfectly fair, an Arun doesn't choose to be born under a full moon. He could have been everything until he becomes
yes,
a werewolf.
It's true. It is simply a matter of the
They are stereotyped.
They are stereotyped, but there is also an argument to be made here saying that, yes, you could have been born under the full moon and then be very interested in Shakespeare and debate clubs and whatever. Yes, certainly. But the moon influences you subtly even before you have your first change. So your interests normally, not always, but normally run within certain areas. So that, for example, someone who's born under a full moon to become an Arun eventually and go out and beat people up would normally, as a child, have a vivid interest in sports, probably very physical sports, for example.
You can make a narrative argument that the rage is slowly building.
Yeah.
And you kind of work it out when you're a kid by being very physical.
Yes.
And maybe there are runes out there who are primarily mental and who haven't worked it out physically. And those kids probably turn into sociopathic psychos who cut people up with hacksaws.
Yes. Anyway, yes. So
That was it.
I'm just going to copy and paste this lovely image to the chat, to the Roll20 chat.
This little thurge is a mental thurge.
there you go.
Let's have a look at that.
Because it's weird being a social thurge and being the lowest thing.
South Park Guide to Werewolves. Black Spiral Dancer guy's perfect.
What?
Werewolf of the Apocalypse according to South Park, basically. Or the tribes according to South Park.
Perfect.
Yeah, the Black Spiral Dancer is great.
I like the fact that you actually picked an Irish name for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Alright, so I think next... does everyone have their attributes placed?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
I have redistributed mine. So now mental stats are my secondary.
Yes. Okay.
So
Then,
it's funny actually that you mentioned that the Aruns would typically tend to excel in sports because that's pretty much my concept.
Haha. Fair enough. Well, her name would be Shiva O'Brien then, with that name, wouldn't it?
According to behind the name, it's Shiva O'Brien, but
O'Brien, yeah, but that's pretty much the same name, really. O'Brien and O'Brien is the same.
it's
roots.
dialects.
It's the same roots.
yeah, she will insist on being called O'Brien.
Yeah,
However,
that's fair enough.
But no, that's not my name. Call me by my name. Oh my god.
Then we just start
She won't talk like that.
bullying you with calling you O'Brien or dyeing your hair green and calling you O'Green.
What are we on to now?
We are on to
Abilities.
abilities, yes. And there you have 13, 9, and 5 to distribute. No ability can be higher than 3 points to begin with.
Yeah. These can be
4
increased
up
with
3 points.
freebies.
Yes. But as I've said, I would not like to see children at the age of 15 have abilities above 3, even after we've distributed.
So,
Even after
from
freebies.
here,
Okay.
I don't know.
Yes?
There's something called Primal Urge.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
exactly
that was
what we
the-
mentioned earlier.
Primal Urge is the ability you use with which to change shape. You use to change forms. You roll stamina plus Primal Urge against a difficulty determined by the form you want to change into. So, for example, let's say you are in human form. You want to change to your war form, which is Krynos, and you have to go from Homid to the shape called Glabro, which is a big, shaggy, hairy human, stronger and so on, and then on to Krynos. Then you first roll one roll to go to Glabro, which is difficulty 7, and then you roll another roll to go to which is difficulty 6 to go to Krynos, unless you just spend a rage point and then go directly there. It is also a stat which is often used to determine how much in touch with the beast inside you are. How good are you at controlling your animal?
Okay.
So, Joan, the skill drive, is that driving a car?
Yes. Well, or a motorcycle, a motor vehicle.
Okay, motor vehicle.
I guess we can't really have that.
Well, we can.
Yeah, you
because breaking the law.
Also, you could have been mostly trained on some other sort of motorized vehicle. Like if your dad usually took you go-karting in the weekends or
For
something.
example. Or,
Oh my god, you could be from the country and have learned to drive a tractor?
Yeah.
You know what?
Or-
That's totally legal.
Joan,
or
do you
dirt
want
biking.
to quickly go through every stat, every ability, like just quickly gloss over them, moving down?
Well, alertness obviously is pretty self-explanatory. How alert are you? It's the equivalent of perception in Pathfinder. Obviously, athletics is what you use for any athletic exertion. It's also what you use to dodge an attack. Be aware you can't dodge bullets. Brawl is what you use for unarmed combat. In the case of werewolves, this includes claws. Empathy, also fairly self-explanatory. Expression is how well spoken you are specifically, and it's not about how good you are, for example, singing. That is performance, and that's under skills.
Expression is getting your point across.
Yes. Intimidation, self-explanatory. Leadership should also be reasonably self-explanatory. How good are your leadership qualities?
Could you come up off the top of your head with an example of when you would ask a player to roll leadership?
It could be in order, for example, you have a bunch of panicking humans and you want them to stop panicking and stop running away and creating a crowd disaster. You would roll leadership in order to stop them, because how good is your force of personality, so to say. That's what I would do.
Okay.
Primal Urge explains streetwise is, how good are you on the streets? How good are you at interacting with, basically with people on the street, such as, for example, homeless people, beggars.
How good are you at knowing a guy?
How good are you at knowing the place you live in? In this case, how good are you at knowing Dublin? If any of you had been a bone gnawer, that would have been high. Subterfuge is also, I think, mostly self-explanatory. How good are you? This is your bluff. This is bluff from Pathfinder.
Yes, it's bluff, and it extends much in the same way as other abilities does. It extends to like not just lying, but it's like the manipulation ability, where there is a manipulation stat to go along. Usually you can either roll charisma or manipulation and then subterfuge.
I guess you mean like misleading.
Yeah, it can also be to seduction can be done with subterfuge.
Yes, it can. That would be charisma or manipulation plus subterfuge.
Yeah, possessed by lawyers, con artists, vampires.
Yes.
By the way, just because Johan mentioned Children of Gaia with Streetwise, I would have taken... Sorry, not Children of Gaia, and Bone Gnawers. I would have taken those in a heartbeat if they had been allowed for Dragon Bash.
I'll be right back, but just go on.
Yep. Animal Ken is the next one. Animal Ken is simple. It is a matter of... Supernatural creatures usually scare animals. If you're a vampire, for example, and you don't have animal kin, every animal you ever meet will run away from you in panic.
There's actually a feat that makes you inoffensive to animal.
Exactly, but
if you have animal kin, you can maybe get some of the bravest to come to you. But that's if you don't have inoffensive animals.
That was just an example for vampires. This is different for werewolves. Werewolves aren't offensive to animals, but they are primary predators. They are the absolute top of the food chain, which
top
means
dog.
Literally, most animals that come across a werewolf will be scared shitless, because even if you're in homid form, you reek of wolf to them. So most animals will be afraid of werewolves. For a different reason than what are they called? Than vampires will. Most dogs and obviously wolves won't be afraid of werewolves. Animal kin will allow you to interact with animals more easily. Craft, crafting something, blacksmithing or cross-stitch embroidery would be craft. Drive, as I said, is a motor vehicle skill. Etiquette, yes. How well behaved are you? That could be, normally that is an RP thing, but there could be certain situations where you as a person, real life, might not know what is the correct way of interacting with these people, and then you could roll etiquette for that. Yeah. Firearms, of course, is how good are you at hitting someone with a gun. It is only for actual guns. It's not, for example, for use with bow and arrow. That is a secondary ability that you can take, but that's a whole nother kettle of fish.
Would you argue firearms could be applicable to crossbows?
No, because the recoil is different.
Okay.
Firearms is only for actual guns.
Larceny is new.
Larceny is new, indeed. Larceny is petty crime. How good are you at picking someone's pocket, for example? Or how good are you at breaking into a car and stealing their stereo without being noticed? That sort of thing. It's, petty crime. Melee is self-explanatory. This is armed close combat, obviously. Again, if you're a werewolf and you have claws, you use brawl, not melee.
Ritual fights to the death are sometimes solved with werewolf daggers.
Yes, and that would be melee. Performance, as I said before, is how good are you at singing or dancing or creating the next Mona Lisa or writing the next Lord of the Rings. So all things artistic. Stealth explains itself. Survival is pretty much the same as survival would be in Pathfinder, I believe. How good are you at staying alive and not dehydrated in the wilds? Academics?
Yeah, what was the difference between melee and brawl?
Melee is armed combat.
Oh, okay.
You would literally be holding a weapon in your hand.
Okay.
Okay.
Pick up a pipe wrench and swing it, it's suddenly no longer brawl.
Exactly. Academics, if you go to knowledges, academics is, what you're book learning. And I believe in this version of the game, academics also determines the amount of languages you have, although I might be mistaken.
Could you quickly scroll down on the skills list and see what a 3-dot represents in the 20th anniversary edition?
In academics?
Yeah.
I shall see if I can't locate that.
Much appreciated.
Just give me a second here. Because I think if I don't use the, the indices here, I'm going to be doing this for a long time. Okay, 132. Let's take a look. Yes, and stealth, survival, professional, academics. Here we go. 3 dots in academics is you could get a paper published on your area of expertise. That's a master's degree.
Cool.
Academics, 1 or 2 dots is student, and college level. 3 dots means you'd have the same knowledge of history, for example, as I do.
So that's for progenies. In our case.
Yeah, some serious talking, sweet talking as well, because we start out with you being 15 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see about languages again, because I just want to make sure that... Because, for example, in this setting, unless you have more access to more than one language, you only speak English, and this means also that you don't speak Irish, which is, after all, a language used extensively in Ireland.
Which one was that?
Irish.
Which knowledge?
Yeah, she's looking into whether or not there is a language knowledge in this game, or if it's covered by academics.
And it's not apparently covered by academics, strangely enough.
What else would it be?
You have to choose a specialty in academics even when her character has less than 4 dots in the skill. So if you take academics, you must choose a specialty.
Even if it's just 1 dot?
Yes.
Right, because I've put a dot in academics.
Yes, but academics is also, this is the point, is academics is higher learning. It's not going to school. This is college level learning.
Cool.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna quick gloss over the character sheet, see if I can find a good place to write specialties.
And what then would... have we found out what you would have to put points into to get extra languages?
I am looking at that.
I kind of want to know Irish.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Is it it's PDF you got, right, Joan?
Yes, it is.
Try and Control F and just type language.
I did.
Okay.
Languages. Well, that's a speech of the world gift, so that's not really the one.
But it would work.
It would work, but because that would give you access to absolutely everyone there is. Anyway, I'm going to go on with the knowledges just to run through them. Computer is also self-explanatory. Enigmas is literally riddle solving, and it is also partly what is used to interact with some spirits, like Daniel mentioned. The idea of playing riddles with a spirit to get it to do something for you is, well, it's a time-honored tradition. In its most basic form, it's a matter of, yes, I can solve a crossword puzzle or the Sudoku on difficult setting. Investigation, yes, also explains itself. Law explains itself. Medicine is not the ability to necessarily heal people, because healing people requires access to medical facilities, but it does allow you to at least apply the correct treatment if you have access to the right treatment facilities and the right medicine, for example.
In a situation where we were out in the wilderness, and we were out there with a human friend,
yes,
and he got shot by someone, and the person ran off, you would then ask us to roll a medicine check, right?
Yes.
Plus something to do something about that out there.
And I can see here that 1 dot is CPR and handle first aid in your office, so...
That is exactly it, and it's also needed for at least 1 Thurge gift. I know there's the healing Thurge gift uses medicine as a stat. So,
yeah.
And we move on to occult. Occult is
knowledge of the occult.
It's hogwash. Basically, occult is knowing that a vampire can't cross running water and that werewolves are affected by holy water, for example, which is in both cases usually bullshit. It's knowing the stuff that are common superstitions.
Yeah, go on.
You need to have a fair amount of occult before you actually get into the real shit.
Yeah, I wanted to say that I think it's also applied when you want to know stuff that is also real, but most dreamers who have it know bullshit. But I believe it also represents like actual occult lore, right? Like Aleister Crowley stuff, which is very real in this world.
Yes. Also, I have found out about languages.
Cool.
It has been turned into a merit. There is something called a language merit, which gives you an extra language. You can have it multiple times. Oh. There's also something called natural linguist, which gives you it's a 2-point merit, and every time you then take the language merit, it gives you 2 languages instead of 1.
Cool.
But it's under merit and flaws, and we'll get to that. And finally, we have rituals, which is, again, werewolves are spiritual creatures. They do various rituals, which can have actual magical effects or spiritual effects. They use it to invoke spirits, for example. They use it when they have a formal meeting, which is called a moot. You have various rituals that are performed in order to appease the spirits or because it's tradition or whatever. It's usually looked upon by other werewolves as something positive. They will give you more of a you will get an acknowledging nod if you know a ritual or two. Not every werewolf does.
I want to say when I played werewolf before, you also used that for actually practicing these small actual rituals that had a magical effect in the game. Do you still do that?
Yeah, but that's what I said. They have actual magical effects. I actually started out by saying that.
Then I must have misheard that. I apologize.
Yeah. Science, and technology is the use of anything that isn't a computer.
Could you give examples of when you would ask a player to roll science or technology?
Yes, certainly. Let me go here up and... there we go. Technology and science here. Science would be, at its most basic, science involves developing hypotheses and testing them through scientific method. This knowledge covers the hard sciences and related fields from biology and chemistry to more abstract fields like mathematics. You must always choose a specialty in science, even if you have less than 4 dots in the skill. This could be stuff like experiments, theory, chemistry, physics, biology, mathematics, or astronomy. And if you roll technology, the technology knowledge represents a character's broad aptitude with electronics, computer hardware, and anything that needs an understanding of modern electronics to work with, and mechanical devices fall under the craft skills. If it has a processor, some transistors, or an integrated circuits, it's electronic rather than electrical. Manipulating it falls under technology. So basically, you can use a computer which has already been built by someone by using the computer stat. If you want to actually put the computer together or fix it if it's broken, then it's technology.
Cool. And if you wanted to repair a car, it would be craft.
Yes, and that's the those are the different attributes. You have
abilities.
Abilities. Sorry, yes, you have. The number that we went through before to distribute. It looks like some of you have already done that.
Yeah.
Say again?
Yep.
It looks like you can't actually add skills, abilities to this one.
What do you mean you can't add?
If, for example, John mentioned archery.
Yeah. You can. There's an advantages just down the page.
Yeah.
Where you can write in other traits. There are a couple of blanks you can write in.
Thank you. I'll do that because I had something left over, and I thought, well, would archery be in the skill category?
Yes.
It was in the old game.
Yes, it is.
When you say
In that case, I'll add it there.
Go on, Chris.
When you say stuff left over,
He has some dots left over, I think.
right? Because I've spent, as you said, was it 1397?
Yeah. That's
Isn't it
1395.
I think 95. Okay. I need to remove some then. Okay. I'll get rid of that one, and we'll get rid of.
Because initially I had made this character pretty much, but since I've changed so much, I've changed a lot of things.
Okay.
That's absolutely fair.
Okay, so that's sorted. So yeah, I've got all the skills, talents, and knowledges sorted then.
Yes. And we are then up to... What part is the next one? That is... dice pools and so on we can always look at later.
Backgrounds then?
Backgrounds, indeed. Yes.
God, every dot I said hurts me because of my concept. So it's like, you poor thing.
Yes. Let me see. Not because here's the thing. Yes. Every tribe has some restrictions.
All of them? I thought only some of them had.
Every tribe has restrictions. But not necessarily in the skills and so on department. So I'm just going to go through them one at a time here. We no longer have a Black Fury.
No.
No, have a Bone Lord. Children of Gaia, here we go. So, come on, stop being. There we go. Character generation. No, it worked. Character creation. Many children of Gaia stress social traits at least a little in order to make themselves heard. They don't neglect their combat skills, but abilities such as empathy, leadership, streetwise performance, and etiquette are all valued. All right, there are no disallowed backgrounds. I'm just checking that for all of you here because there are for some.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah, for sure.
The FINA, they encourage most members to at least dabble in performance. I like that.
I think I have a little bit. Let's check.
Yeah, and it says here, background restrictions on the FINA, none. Get a Fenris. Character generation. Let me see here. Fenrir usually stress combat and survival. They almost never purchase contacts. They want true friends, not associates. Which I actually sort of like about them.
I can relate to that.
Yeah, I think that's kind of positive, actually. We have the Glasswalkers.
Uh-huh.
Glasswalkers favor modern skill sets such as drive, firearms, computer. Mentor is a discouraged background. The Glasswalkers don't believe much in the old ways. Their restricted backgrounds are pure breed. They stopped cultivating it centuries ago. And ancestors. Their lack of interest in the past has eroded their spiritual ties to its wisdom. So you can't take pure breed and ancestors, and it's highly discouraged to take mentor as a background.
Well, I can say that the favored abilities have I all.
Yeah, but this is for backgrounds, so yeah.
Yeah.
Most have at least a dot or two of resources. And then we have Shadow Lords.
Yeah.
Character generation. Shadow Lords believe in being well-rounded, though they are particularly prone to stress mental attributes and manipulation. They favor a wide variety of abilities, particularly those dealing with guile and persuasion. Allies and mentors are discouraged backgrounds. Shadow Lords generally prefer to hold associates at arm's length.
Yeah. Used to be they couldn't take allies or mentor.
Yes. I like the fact that they are now discouraged, but...
A lot of stuff was changed. Basically... There is one of the things I really liked when I watched the stream on Mage and their character creation was when during character creation there was like half a page dedicated to gender identity.
Yes, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really really inclusive and awesome of them.
Yes, it certainly is. Yes, I think
was there anything I wasn't that Get a Fenris wasn't straight up allowed?
Just find them again.
Contacts.
Yes, contacts was discouraged because they want real friends, not associates.
Yeah.
That means that we move on to backgrounds in general.
Yeah, let's look into some backgrounds.
Okay,
This is interesting because the backgrounds are blank in this one. So
yes, so you're going to have to literally write those in, but here we go.
We rely on you for these.
Backgrounds, come on. Cooperate. Here we go. 135. 135. There we go. Discouraged and restricted backgrounds, because some tribes have restrictions on which backgrounds a character can take in the character generation. These restrictions fall into two categories: discouraged, like contacts and resources for the Wendigo, a mentor for the Glasswalkers, and restricted, like ancestors and pure breeds for the Glasswalkers, or the Silverfang's required purchase of 3 dots of pure breed. Discouraged are essentially very rare. Restricted have a closer tie to the nature of the tribe. Okay. You can have... Yes, sorry?
I'm just, because I'm reading these as well.
Yep.
I assume resources, because it's not a good thing to have, mostly because it says, like, for 1 dot you can have, like, a car and a place to live. And for a 15-year-old?
You could have a font or something like that.
Yeah, you could. You could have I'd say you'd have to have a very good reason to have more than one, but you could have one.
Crazy rich parents.
Oh yeah, because I was thinking that even 1 looked a bit excessive for.
Well, not everybody would have one.
Yeah,
you could flavor, for example, if you were to take, let's say you take 3 dots of resources, right? you might have extremely rich parents and like have a couple of credit cards and basically be like, in terms of a kid, you have access to a lot of fucking moolah. And then we have the post-opening time skip to 18 years, and this has become something that is yours now.
Yes, exactly. All right, we'll go over these one at a time. There are allies, and remember, some of you might not have...
Not interested?
Exactly.
Are there more than 8 backgrounds?
I believe so, yes.
Yes.
Then I won't write in every single one.
No, that would be a bad idea.
Also, I believe we only get 5 points to begin with.
That's
Yes.
correct. But backgrounds are one freebie
nice
point.
to have them to be able to overlook them.
Backgrounds are cheap. Okay.
Backgrounds are cheap, yes. But allies is one. There are ancestors.
And if anyone wants to know more about what these do, I think you should speak up when Joan goes.
I was actually going to explain the ones that aren't self-explanatory. I think allies is pretty logical. Ancestors is a matter of ancestral memory. Werewolves can literally remember their past lives because they have such things. They have to learn how to do so, but they can remember.
Sometimes involves drugs.
Sometimes it does. So basically what Ancestors does is that once per game session, the player of a Garou with this background may roll his ancestor's background with a difficulty of 8 or 10 if he's trying to contact the spirit of a specific ancestor. Each success allows the character to increase any ability by 1 for the purpose of a single dice pool. So basically you can tap into, but I had this ancestor who was really, really awesome at explaining stuff to people. I'm not very good at expression, but he was really awesome. I'm going to tap into his abilities, and that's the way to do it.
Please, great-grandfather Howard.
Yes.
Could you assist me in this?
Yes, pretty much. That's how it goes. However, if you botch it, which means you roll more 1s than successes, you actually become catatonic for the rest of the scene as you're overwhelmed by the memories of thousands of lives.
If I have ancestors and I am a direct descendant of Henry Ford, can I get like access to a unique spout racism skill?
Very funny.
Sorry.
Next up, we have contacts, which is also reasonably self-explanatory.
I think maybe you should highlight the difference between allies and contacts.
Contacts are people you can ask questions of and who will help you with locating information. Allies are people who will literally come to your aid, but who may not have information to give.
Yeah. An ally is a character that will help you.
Yes.
Contacts is a wider network of people who might not commit to anything.
No. Incorrect.
Boo.
Contact is a person who can feed you accurate information in their area of expertise. It's not a network. It's one person per...
I was going to ask because if this text is still there, because used to be, raising my finger saying I only have the old book, used to be that there were 2 kinds of contacts. There were major contacts,
yes.
Who were like people you implicitly kind of sort of trusted, and then there were non-major contacts that
it does
you could
say
access.
in the book.
It does say that you have minor contacts, but they are specifically listed as around the area. They're not quite as friendly or reliable in a pinch, but they work on a wide range of different areas, and you can bribe, intimidate, or manipulate them into telling what you need to know. But they're not so much a network. That was the word.
Yeah. This is what I was getting at.
That implies some kind of cooperation between the contacts, and that's not the case.
Yeah, so they're useful individuals who you happen to be acquainted with.
Yes, and you can ask them questions and get information about that. But an ally is someone where you call them and say, the shit has just hit the fan, come here and bring your guns.
Yeah. I really need someone to do this, and I trust you to do it.
Exactly. But they might not have any information about it. They will just help you because they're, allies. Next.
So, you wouldn't call a contact saying, I just turned into a werewolf and half this building.
No.
However, you would call an ally saying, I need a shovel because I killed half a building.
Yes.
Yeah, a contact is like, I want something, you want something, we'll figure this out.
Can I go on now?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Fate. Fate is, it represents a prophecy. that was created or acknowledged at your birth, or at the creation of your pack.
Could you read that aloud? Because I've never heard of that one before.
That is a new one, exactly. The fate background represents a prophecy that accompanied your birth or the creation of your pack. A fate is always something significant, but it is as likely to be dark and infamous as it is to be full of glory. In these times of apocalypse, the Garou cannot afford to sacrifice even one warrior, no matter how dark the portents surrounding them are. However, even those with terrible fates are often prove to be some of the greatest Garou, perhaps because they try so hard to defy their fate. Some even succeed. In addition to the fame and infamy these prophecy garner you, once per game session you can use this background to add success to any roll that either failed or achieved fewer successes than were required. The player hit the rolls his rating in this background, difficulty of 8, and adds any successes to those that were achieved in the original failed roll. If this means that the action succeeds, the player should describe what fortuitous events caused him to succeed. So basically, this gives you an extra set of dice to roll once per session.
It's a one-session fate point.
Yes.
Potential fate point.
Potential fate point, exactly.
So the ancestors can increase your dice pool. This one can save a failure.
Here comes something incredibly important. Fate may be pooled among a pack.
Oh,
that is cool.
That is uber cool. It means that if one of you has 2 points of fate and another has 1 point and another one again has 1 point, your pack has 4 points of fate that you can spend once per game session.
I love the pool background.
I want to complain. It's called Uber.
Well, Uber.
Okay. Who wants to have some fate for this pack?
I might go for fate.
I might also go for some fate.
It is a really, really cool thing that you can do that. I have to say, that is an awesome.
I'll at least consider dropping some freebies into it.
Johan, should it be something like that the player chooses what the kind of fate it is supposed to be, or can I just say, storyteller, fuck with my background, or fuck with my character?
No, it actually specifically said that if you then managed to fix things, you have to explain what it was that from your fate that turned things around.
I think what Hilly is asking is...
It seemed like that was a sort of maybe something was foretold or something.
Oh, yeah. No, that is something the player would have to write into their backgrounds, unless you want to buy this background later in the game when you have actually formed a pack. You can buy it with experience points, and you can, if you want me to, we can have. I mean, after all, the spirit of the set in St. Stephen's Green is a spirit of prophecy. It would make all kinds of sense for your new pack to have a fate.
Also, the fact that we're six new bloods, 6 cups at once, kind of like sounds important.
Yes, it's hugely fortuitous.
I think that is something we should probably look into.